Hi, in this session, we are going to learn about how do we generate a BA publisher report based on Excel output, especially with multi-tab output scenario. So often we get a customer's requirement where we need to generate an Excel-based output, especially a multi-tab output scenario in the case that where you need to split your output based on each tab, right? In each tab, you need to show your output results. So based on group by condition, based on department costing, or based on any other scenario, the requirement may be, you need to generate an Excel based on multi-tab output. If that is your requirement, then this session will help you in learning how do we start with it, what is that you need, how many data models you need to build, what are the queries that you may write for testing this report, and how do you use the queries or data models to be used and create an Excel-based report on multi-tab scenario. Right. So let us get it started. We are going to go with two specific data models. In this case, one is on parole assignments they have. So we are going to go fetch only 10 of the rows and this from this table. And another data set we are going to go create with per person names F. Right. So let us start. So we'll first have our data model created. I'll go to create data model. Select the HCM data source. I have to write the query. I'm just limiting this for 10 rows for our testing. I'm just selecting a person ID field here. And then I'm going to go create one more data set, which is for person name table. So here I'm going to select all the rows, right? Select the HCM data source. I'm just going to leave this as is. Now I do have the two data sets. One, let us assume it's a parent, another child. For each person ID, we are going to go print the person details. So now if you observe, there are two data sets, G1 and G2. In both the sets, we have person ID as common key field or common field, rather I could say, right? So this person ID, since it has a unique name, you need to just go to structure, keep your G1 as person underscore ID. In G2 data set, your person ID should be renamed to just person ID. So this is to ensure that we are not getting two unique column names or aliases in the data sets. When you run the query, it should not error out. That's why we are going to go edit this, give an alias different from the first data set. So once that is done, the next step that we need to do is link this G1 dataset with the G2 dataset. Right? How do we do that? Person ID, click on this but select and click on the create link and map your person ID column in the second data set. So this establishes a link between your G1 set and G2 set. So now if you look at the structure, you have a G1 and G2. Both G1 and G2 are mapped with a common column for person ID. Right? A link is being provided. So now if you can run for your test data, for each G1, it will list out your G2 data sets, right? That's how it will be. So now we have done with our data model. Save this data model in your directory. I'm going to go give a name, save it here. So once this is done, the next part of it is create a template. So now, as we have readily stated at the start of the session, the output here is an Excel-based output, and that too multi-tab based scenario, right? We are going to go print this data in Excel-based sheet, but with different tabs. Output will go into different tabs in the same Excel sheets, right? So what we need to do is we need to open a blank sheet, Excel sheet, just launch an Excel sheet. So this is our sheet that we are going to use for the template creation. And before even we create something here, so let us learn about some of the tags that we are going to use, right? So mainly any Excel-based output, right, uses XTO tabs for printing. So here there are two XTO tags which you will mostly use: XTO underscore question mark, column name, and then question mark. So here this column name is your field name. So XTO question mark, it has to be started with XTO question mark, and then you need to print out your column name and then end with your question mark. So then there is one more tag that you use, right? XTO underscore question mark, group underscore question mark, group name. So these two are the tags that you will be using in this Excel based output template. While you create it, we will be using it. So now let us create an output template. So have some kind of an header here. Just say that Excel based output. Give it a name. Header can be anything as per the requirement. If you have some requirement to print out a header, just create this, and then you are going to go print out your person ID first, and then you go print out the child columns, right? So let us first print out a person ID column, and this person ID is from G1 dataset. So how do we print out? If you go run this sample data model, you have G1 and then you have a G2 set. In that you have columns. We will select at least 2 to 3 columns for printing, but first we will print this column. Yeah. For each person ID, we are printing the person details next. So first we will do this. So as we learned about how do we print a column, we print a column using XTO underscore column name. So we use the same tag underscore question mark, column name, question mark. So this is something you will be using for printing a column name. So now you are printing a parent data. Let us assume you are going to print child data as well. So in child data, let us pick a few columns. Let us say we are just printing display name. Yeah, I'll give it as XTO underscore question mark display name question mark, the column that I'm going to print. So this is header. I'll make some coloring to this. Now another field, what I can print here is name type. Let us assume or legislation code. Let us print a legislation code as a second field. So I'll give a header for that. Yeah, and then you print this column. How do we print this column? Next you have question mark, legislation code, and then question mark. Now we have this data that needs to be tested. We have printed a parent from the first data set. We are printing the person ID. From the second data set, for each person ID, we are printing the name and the legislation code for this. So now once we are done with this, you need to do some sort of a naming for each of the column, right? So how do you name each of the column in Excel? Through the name manager. So go to the formulas, click on this person ID field, click on name manager. Just repeat this for each field. Yeah, click on new, click on OK. So this creates a unique name for this column. So now click on close. Same way, you click on this second field, click on name manager, click on new, click on OK. Close it, that column, repeat it again. So now what we are doing is we are building unique names in Excel for the name manager. So now column level names are done. You need to build a group level name as well for this row, the child row that you're printing here. So select both the columns or any other columns if you have here. Select all those. Click on Name Manager. Click on New. Here, as we have learned about group tag XTO underscore question mark group underscore G2 is your data set, right? XTO underscore question mark group underscore question mark data set is G2. So this is a group tag. So it is must that once you try to print any columns or any groups, name it first before even you move ahead to the next level of template formatting. So first what we did is we have created a data model. Then we are now creating a template. During the template creation, we learned about the tags. There are two types of tags that we mostly use: column level tag, group level tag, right? Column level tag is used for printing the column names. Group level tags is used to group your columns, right? So we printed from the parent G1. We are going to go print this person ID. How do we print this column? Using the XTO underscore question mark column name. Column name is person ID here. And then it ends with question mark. Same way we printed the other two columns, and then we tried naming them using the name manager, right? Okay. So now the next set of configuration that we are going to do in the template is creating the metadata, right? So this is very must. So Excel has to know what is the metadata that it has to use for creating multi-tabs, right? How do it splits? How it should split the data into multi-tab? What will be the condition? What will be the column? It should look for to split that, right? So to have that configuration or to have that particular notes on this template, you will be creating a metadata sheet. It should be XTO underscore metadata. So the name should be XTO underscore metadata. It should be something like this only. You cannot truncate or just give metadata. It will not assume that it is a metadata. You should give proper name like XTO underscore metadata. So now I'll give you some sort of a code from this. Just copy paste. I'll explain this to you. Copy paste this. So here, if you see this metadata, you have all this given by Oracle, right? You have version, you have DB, DRB, you have extracted version. All these are template specific, maintenance fields, right? The most important thing that you need to observe here is template type. So here, template type, please ensure type Excel template is provided here, right? Lost, modified, sold, or audit information you can or cannot fill. That doesn't make sense for any outputs that you generate, right? So it is good to have this as an audit. Do fill it when you are working on a project. But for now, we are ensuring that template type is created as type Excel template. All right. So now let us look at what are the data constraints. Now, as we were looking at the sheet number 1, we were telling that we need to create a metadata to tell the system how it has to split the data into the tabs, what it has to look for to split the data into multiple tabs, etc. Right? That is what we are going to tell the system or tell the Excel or BIP based Excel output that you need to split the sheets based on G1 column. Right? What is the G1 column? Person ID. Right? And the sheet name for each of the sheet that we are going to go generate for the unique person IDs will be a concatenated person ID along with the dynamic variable. For each person ID, it will create person ID and then the person ID number. And then again, the new tab, if it has a new person ID, then it will go to the new tab, print the name of the tab as person ID colon the person ID value, and then it keeps on creating until it has done with the person ID number of rows that it has to print, right? So G1 is what it differentiates the split when it has to get split into different tabs. And this is the tab name that we are going to use. So now that we are done with the template, we need to save this template, right? We need to save this template somehow into your local machine with some name. But please ensure while you're saving this template, you have to save it in XLS format. XLSX is not supported in Oracle. for BIP Excel based templates. It has to be XLS template. Yeah. So let me quickly save this. Okay, name of your Excel template, right? And then the one that you saved, right? Just now you saved a template, Excel-based template. You select it. Yeah, you browse it from your local. You try to select your template file. I just did that. So I have selected Excel1 template.xls, which I've saved. Now, the type of this template is Excel template, and the locale is English. Click on upload. So once we have this uploaded, you will see this Excel template uploaded here. So if you want to ensure that the output is Excel format, please do ensure that before running. So now let us test this. We have a data model, we have a report template, but before you even create any other output from this template, you please ensure that you save this template first. Yeah, we have not saved. That's why it is asking for. It is prompting us to save the Excel template. So we'll say that is Excel report 1, right? We're going to go save this. And now, as soon as you save this, you can run the report. But please ensure that before you even run the report, please ensure your report has a data model selected, right? So I go to the report. Please ensure you have the data model selected. So we have uploaded the template, that's fine, but you also need to ensure the data model is selected. This is our data model. Okay, so we have the report generated now. We can click on the report, just modify the report header, and then swap the columns. So now you will get to see this report output generated automatically. So you can click on open this report. As we have suggested, please ensure you're saving the output only with XLS format. So I have renamed this header Excel based multi-tab output. For each person ID, we are printing the display name with a legislation code, right? So now if you look at this, you have a split for each person ID. When there is an each person ID, unique ID coming in, you are splitting that into different tabs. Number one. Number two, you also ensure that the details of your child records, let us say for person ID, we are intended to print the name and legislation code. That's also printing, right? So that's how it is. So this is Excel based multi-tab output. It is very, very important to learn the basics of it, and then you will get into more detailed, advanced mode of Excel based template generations in your real-time projects. So hope this session was useful. Thanks for watching.